Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today I've got the good fortune to be joined by Mike Farrell, who is Chief Executive Officer of Green Leads. He's got over 30 years of sales, marketing, and business leadership experience. We are super excited to discover everything Green Leads had to offer. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
All right, thank you very much.
So let's go back in time a little bit. How did your role with Green Leads start?
Oh, good question. Actually, the founders of Green Leads are both friends of mine. They actually used to work for me at another company. So, I had the opportunity to join a couple 2.5 years ago to take it to the next level. So we're rocking and rolling now.
What does Green Leads do?
We are a B2B lead generation and appointment generation company. So we, all of our clients, majority of our clients are technology firms, some business services firms.
Awesome. So we want more leads and more appointments. Tell us a little bit about how you make that magic work.
Oh, well, yeah, really. A couple ways. It's digital marketing and old-fashioned outbound calling. So on the lead generation side, and especially in tech, you got to fill the top of the funnel with leads to nurture. So that's done via promoting good content, whether it's ebooks, white papers, recorded webinars, and so forth. To generate that early demand. So we'll promote that out to the target audience for the client, and we do that globally in any language. And we can get that opt-in lead right now with GDPR and data privacy concerns. Opt-in leads are a big deal. Right, so that's what we do on the lead generation side, and we do tens of thousands of those for some startups as well as name brand companies globally every month. On the appointment generation side, that's the outbound callers, promoting a client's value proposition and trying to secure an appointment for their sales team.
That is fantastic. So you talked about you've worked with some household name companies. Can you give us an example or two of how you're able to move the needle, let's say for IBM?
Yeah, so IBM, we actually do quite a bit of the event lead gen. So we're generating leads for their events. They're inviting people. So they obviously, companies that run these events, obviously virtual now, most of them, have their own opt-in list to invite people to events, their customer list as well as prospect list, and but they need to broaden the audience, right? So they need us to create a new audience and to expose them to the message that IBM wants to get out there. So and get them to those different, and IBM's obviously huge, so they have sometimes it's cloud, sometimes it's security, sometimes it's digital transformation and everything under the sun. So there's lots of different audiences you can to really drive those attendants for. So that is and one of the quotes we just got was that the event was fantastic last month, and we exceeded expectations.
Well, that is absolutely incredible. Dumb question. So why would a giant company like IBM, like their sales force is legendary, they have, buildings filled with marketing people, why would they outsource to you? How'd you pull that off?
Yeah, well, I mean, every marketing organization uses outside vendors for different parts of their marketing efforts. So we're one of many vendors that IBM uses. So I don't know if I guess we're special because we went through the gauntlet of getting a contract with IBM, which is took a year. So that was the I guess makes us special. But other than that, we do, there's a lot of companies that do what we do, but we obviously have a good experience, and our clients keep coming back for more because they like what we do.
Well, that speaks volumes to how well what you do works. Talk about a small business and a recent small business client, which is more of our audience as opposed to the IBMs of the world, and talk a little bit about what you were able to pull off for them, because they might not have IBM's budget.
Of course. Yeah. So we, one client, what we did is we provided them, they have their own inside SDR team, and they started with us on kind of top of the funnel lead generation, but those need to be nurtured. So those aren't ready for this SDR yet, right? Those need to be nurtured a little bit. So we proposed to them we could do, again, with our telemarketing services, and we have people not just in the US, but we have people in the Caribbean, South America, and Europe. With our telemarketing services, we could provide them still a content syndicated lead, but it's done via voice, and we get that prospect, ask them a few custom questions, and we get that prospect to opt into a phone call with the client. So that's not an appointment. We didn't book the meeting on the calendar, but now that prospect is expecting a call from that client, and this client is thrilled with the results. I mean, they've got, it was a small test to begin with, like 30 leads, and they got almost half of them into their sales pipeline already. So so that client's coming back for more. So there's different types. So you have top of the funnel leads, middle of the funnel leads, bottom of the funnel leads. These are kind of bottom of the funnel leads that are ready for an SDR team to call into.
That is fantastic. Your passion's obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I love helping clients grow. I like to grow our company. It's kind of my whole business experience is growing businesses. So growing green leads as well as helping other companies meet their goals. So that's, I'm a sales guy at heart. So
with all the success you've achieved now, what's your biggest challenge?
It's, our business is growing at a pretty good rate right now. So the challenges is just to make sure we don't get over our skis, as we scale our team, right? So there's a lot to do when you're scaling and growing a business, and so catching up with this, bringing on new staff, training that new staff. So it's just a growing challenges, which are all good.
Absolutely. What would you do differently if you had to start over knowing what you know now?
It's really just making sure you have all the right people in the right roles, and so that's sometimes that's trial and error as you're growing a business. But that would be one thing you want to do. But it's always I've always been fortunate enough to build a good team around me, in the right roles. So that's been rewarding to throughout my career. But that's do differently. just, I always want to grow faster, even though it's painful to, and challenging to grow. I always want to grow the business faster.
You are advising companies every day. What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
I think just that point I made earlier, which is make sure you have the right people on the team, the right people on the bus. That's critical to having a successful company.
With all of the constant changes in the marketing media landscape, I mean, it seems like there's a new network you got to be on, every couple of weeks popping up. How do you stay on top of everything?
We don't do everything, right? There's so many flavors of marketing. Marketing as a profession is just exploding the last 10 years. And there's, in the digital world, right? There's all different ways to generate. So there's so many channels, right? So you don't have to, we've chosen to do what we do and stay really tight with that. I think a natural evolution for us might be to, go into the programmatic advertising space in the social arena. We're not there yet. But we're got some thoughts around that and how to move into that space. But there's so many ways you can go about the business. First, you got to pick your niche, right? We're B2B. We're mostly tech, right? That's our lane we're in. And then which of the myriad of different offerings can we don't do SEO, we don't build websites, right? We don't, but what we do well.
What are some of the most common mistakes you see business owners making when it comes to trying to drive revenue and generate leads for their businesses?
Yeah, we do a lot of business with the startup world, and in the startup world, it's really, you got to have a niche, you got to have a target market, right? You got to know where you're going, and sometimes that's trial and error. Sometimes they don't know initially, and that's okay. But you gotta keep trying things and iterating to really fine tune that, and that's it. All starts with your, and what we do, right? It all starts with your list. If you have a crappy list, you're gonna have a crappy outcome.
What else do you want to share that I haven't thought to ask you yet?
One of the things that I think your listeners should really learn more about is in this, what the term in the industry is called intent data, or intent leads, right? So now we have a platform we work with that we could go and build your audience, your target accounts, your geos, your personas, put all your keywords into this platform, and we could basically put a digital net around those people and see what, where they're engaging with all your keywords and so forth, and really harvest that not just the companies based on the IP addresses, but we can harvest the actual contact names. So we associate them with the trigger, right? And that you can really, we take that and we personalize our messaging, and you get a better outcome.
That is fascinating. So are there any minimums in terms of working with you? Like is there a certain company size or revenue that lets you know this is a good fit or this isn't a good fit, or we don't touch anybody who doesn't have a budget of $100,000 a year? Or how does something like that work? I know it's going to vary, but just ballpark.
Yeah, it's, we're pretty, we don't lock anybody into a year. It's a service, right? So it's, we typically go with, starting at 5K and up per month is kind of the entry point. And 3-month pilots are how we like to start, right? We got to make sure we're a good fit for the client, they're a good fit for us. And then from there, we craft if either it's a long-term agreement or it's just month to month. So no major handcuffs on anybody.
Beautiful. For our folks who are watching or listening and want to learn more, where is the best place for them to go?
They can go to greenleads.com. So it's the color greenleads.com. They can hit me up on LinkedIn. They can send me an email. It's just mike.farrell@greenleads.com. So happy to talk to anybody. I have kind of 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time is kind of my office hour as well. I'll talk to anybody.
Awesome. And that's green-leads.com, right?
Either one.
Either one works. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been Seth Greene with Sharkpreneur with Mike Farrell of greenleads.com. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
All right, great. Seth, thanks very much.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening, and we'll talk to you or see you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.